Hey, what's up? Good evening. This is Earl here from the 14 Rings podcast to bring you episode 2 of Barbershop Talk. And I'm going to be touch basing, talking about the Dallas Cowboys and just seeing just what's going on with free agency. But I also want to give a shout out to Zach Martin. I'm going to start out with Zach Martin. I wanted to let him know that he had a phenomenal NFL career. He achieved 9 Pro Bowls. He only had 7 holding penalties, and he was a phenomenal right guard. It took me a while to figure out what I needed to do as a whole to figure out what I'm going to say to give Zach Martin a nice send-off on his retirement. Back in the 2014 NFL draft, I wasn't so sure why we drafted this guy because I knew we needed a skill position guy, and it was very frustrating. At that time, I was still trying to figure out what Dallas was trying to do as a whole, and at that set in stone, they wanted to try to build a solid offensive line because at that point, they had drafted Travis Frederick, who was our center, and then we had Tyron Smith, who was pretty much out as a right tackle, but shifted him to left tackle. And then before you know it, Zach Martin was drafted to be our right guard. And after being drafted by Dallas, it was something that was very unique and phenomenal and very physical with what they wanted to try to do as a whole, especially with building an offensive line for Tony Romo during the time. And at first, I wasn't a fan of it, but being able to see this man over the last 13 years, it's been an honor, and just to see how well he played the position, how he defended his quarterbacks and created gaps for the running back. And I just want to give a nice little salute and a send off to him. And hopefully he has a phenomenal retirement, as well as just being able to spend time with his family, because that's most important. When you know that you gave a decade and some change to the gridiron, and it's time that you fully understand and know you got to be there with your family, I respect that. And I just wish him nothing but the best on his retirement. Now I'm going to talk about free agency. Right now, I know people are gearing up ready for the draft, as well as gearing up for the scouting combine that starts tomorrow. And one thing that I've noticed from this transition is that I haven't seen Jerry Jones or heard anything from Jerry Jones so far since the presser with Brian Schottenheimer being hired as the head coach. And I'm not sure it was kind of working under wraps with him. Maybe, just maybe, they have him kind of like, yo, we got this. His son, Will McClay, Brian Schottenheimer, Matt Eberflus, and Clayton Adams, who are guys that's going to the combine and being able to see which player would be best fit for the team. Maybe that's a good thing. But I just want to shift over to the situation that I know most of us as Cowboy fans have endured the last couple of years. And it's the free agency market. Are we going to sign guys outside of our own? Or are we just going to bring back the dudes that was with us these last couple of years? So what I noticed for right now is that they're working with Osa Odighizuwa to get him a contract extension. But I have a fear that they're going to franchise tag Osa, and I don't think that's the right move to do. And most importantly, you got Micah Parsons looking for a contract where he, in his own words, decided to say, I'm going to be team friendly for this team. Something should click in your brain to get this dude done now so you can sign guys and get more pieces to this team. Just for right now, I just feel like they're really just waiting last minute like they did with CeeDee Lamb as well as with Dak Prescott at the beginning of week 1 this past season. Now, I'm not a fan of the franchise tag. I feel like you could easily sign the player instead of tagging them, and basically making sure you're not wasting money. The last 5 to 6 years, they have wasted money. signing guys off injuries, either tagging them and signing them late. I looked at a stat that was astonishing to me, where the amount of tags that we've done, the Joneses have lost every single tag that they put on a player, where they have burned themselves in the kneecaps being under $69.5 million in the cap, in a hole off of tags, where you could have easily signed a player early and save money. You're going to wait last minute and let the dollar go up. That's on y'all, the Joneses, especially you, Stephen Jones. And from what Stephen Jones talked about at the Combine, was saying they're going to do a selective, aggressive approach. And I'm like, why does that sound familiar? Oh, yeah, he did that last season. Only signing Eric Kendricks and then signing a long snapper. The year before that, you traded for Brandon Cooks for a 6th round, as well as trading for Stephon Gilmore for a 6th round. Yeah, those are key pieces that you had during that time. But what else can you do besides trading picks? Why don't you look on the outside? You might be able to find guys that could actually help the team that's on the other opposition. But for some reason, you have this "we like our guys" philosophy. That's what's hurting the team. You're not going out. You're not putting your foot in the water to swim. You're constantly keeping yourself in your own tent that you're afraid to leave the tent. And example wise, you don't want to come out of the out now. You want to stay there. And that's the problem. Now, if you're banking on having this draft be able to fill this team, you can't draft yourself into filling this team. And I'm particularly talking to you, Jerry, and especially your son, Stephen Jones, out here looking like a chicken hawk. It just makes no sense that you constantly are saying, yeah, we really want to try to build a Super Bowl team. Are you really doing that? Are you taking those steps like other teams are doing, going against the grain, being able to address your team, get the guys in here who can help your team, and give them a fair shot to earn their spot on the team? Now, don't get me wrong. They have gotten guys, but they have not given them a fair shot to earn their reps on the field. One player in particular that is with the Ops right now is Dante Fowler Jr. A nice signing. He earned double-digit sacks this past season. It was kind of one of his breakout years. Credit to him. But with Dallas, they were holding him back because you easily had a pass rusher to go along with Micah, to go along with D-Law, and in general, you had Sam Williams. Now, it's just mind-boggling that you fumbled twice dealing with Fowler, with Dorrance, and even the Randy Gregory situation. It's just, you're not treating the guys with respect and courtesy to allow them to earn the reps on the field. You put the star on their helmet, but did they really earn that star? I say not. Dante Fowler, he had about 6 sacks in one season. He could have had more if he had more tick on the field. Jerry and Stephen Jones, all they care about is their players, consider them sons. They don't give a fair shot to the other guys that's outside of the home in Dallas to give them a fair chance to be sons as well. They consider them stepchildren and don't treat them the same way they treat their sons. Yeah, it's frustrating, y'all. And I definitely know that for everybody and their optimism and everything from that, we just got to continue to apply the pressure to the Joneses. Now, there was an interview they had with Stephen Jones talking about just what they're going to do with Micah's contract, as well as working with Osa. It's just kind of crazy that they're going to work to get Osa signed first before Micah Parsons. That's just insanity. And for those who are in basketball, I'm going to use an example. That's like signing Derek Fisher before you sign Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, or you go sign a Rick Fox before Shaq. And for that, it's one where it just doesn't make sense. You're basically buying jelly instead of getting peanut butter to add it as a combination, a perfect combo. You get the peanut butter first, then the jelly. You don't do that. You go get the Kool-Aid, but you forget to get the sugar. And it just doesn't mesh well. I just hope they're able to get Osa signed and not put the tag on him and go ahead and get Micah's deal done. I'm already on this point on Twitter with the hashtag 877 pay Micah now. And if you know the jingle from that, it's my money and I need it now. And that's basically Micah Parsons. NFL, Jerry, pay Micah now. 877 pay Micah now. I need it done. Is one where we just got to continue to apply the pressure to these Joneses, and they will crumble. They will fold. I've seen Stephen Jones in his interview frustrated because they constantly nagging him about the selective aggressive. What you mean by that? And he pretty much reiterated 3 more times. We just got to continue, Cowboys Nation, we got to continue to apply that pressure to them on Twitter to be able to get where this team needs to go. It's not about winning the dollar. It's about getting the guys in here who can help this team and to be able to get to the postseason as well as trying to reach a championship game. And I know it's a scenario, people saying it's been 30 years. We're the only team that haven't been to the championship game. We get that. We understand that. But it's time to create a legacy where we can get back to winning. It's time. It's time for us to be able to achieve what we need to. And for me, I'm just going to continue to keep doing my part to getting those hashtags ready and just continue to apply the pressure to the Joneses. That's what's going to be key for this. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with free agency, and it's coming up. And if Micah's not signed by week 1 of free agency, yeah, it's going to be a long offseason. And you're going to try to do what you want to do with those players, but Micah's a different breed. He will talk. And he has the platform to do it. So, Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, is it in your conscience not to pay one of your star players? I promise you, if you get Micah done early, that opens up a lot. You'll be able to save money. You'll be able to wheel and deal, get some trades, do whatever you can. Address free agency like you need to. And no doubt in my mind, the draft is going to be smooth sailing. Y'all going to be kicked back, relaxing, grabbing snacks because you already took care of what you needed to do to fill this team up. And no way is this draft you can't draft your way out of this one to build a team. So, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, get your act together. And I know you're going to be like, what's your counter? My counter is you got a plethora of Cowboy fans coming after your neck. And you're already in some predicament there that I won't go into. But you definitely need to address what you need to get this team going. Your opposition just got their second championship. And then the other opposition got to a championship game. Are you going to wait for the third opposition in the division to do something before y'all decide to move and do something? Come on now. Y'all gotta get your act together. But in all honesty, that's all I have for today with being able to talk about what's going on with the Cowboys. I'm going to look at the scouting combine tomorrow and try to get some more touch base within the week. And if I see some things, there may be another episode on the way just addressing what I saw from the combine. But overall, if I get more news dealing with free agency, I'm going to let y'all know. I appreciate all Cowboys Nation. We got to continue to apply that pressure to the Joneses. It's getting to them. Let's continue to keep the foot on the gas with it. DC for life, not for short. Y'all are great. Love y'all to pixels. And tune in next time. Peace.